Welcome to Investor Shark's Northwest Teen Startup Challenge 2021. This year, the Kirkland Chamber of Commerce and Kirkland Performance Center are providing local students with an opportunity to pitch to a panel of judges from the business and investment community, either their idea for a company or a company currently in operation. This event will feature 4 student teams from the Lake Washington School District who will compete for a grand prize of $1,500. Each of the runner-up teams will receive $500. A very special thank you to our presenting sponsor for this event, Google. And now, let's meet this year's judges.
Hello, my name is David Dubois. I am the VP at Banner Bank.
Hi, my name is Lorena Livanos. I am a loan commercial credit analyst at Giza Credit Union.
Hi, my name is Manish Gadi, and I am the owner of Midnight Cookie Company.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Smith. I own the Kirkland Redmond office of Murphy Business Northwest. We help people buy and sell businesses.
First up today is Anisha Vesh with Writer Unblocks.
Thank you for allowing me to present my work today. When I was younger, I had ideas for stories, but I couldn't translate them into full books or novels, and there was no one to help me. Though my parents had written many scientific papers, they couldn't help me with my creative writing, so I decided to create Writer Unblocks, a place where people like me could come together and help each other. 97% of people give up writing before they complete their first novels, and 99% give up within their first 5 years. Based off of these graphs from Statista, there's a steady growth in the writer's market, and based off of the 97% drop-off rate, there's a potential size of 1.5 million people in the US based off of the 44K authors, and in the UK, 3.1 million people based off of the 93K authors. There are about 46 million potential authors in just the US and UK, and there are about 1 million students in Washington State schools and 368,000 in just the universities. Any one of these people could be a potential author. We will be targeting teens from young adults, and aspiring authors, students, established authors, and self-published authors can all benefit from our site. We are a sole proprietorship and will later be incorporated as LLC or C Corporation. Our site is an online service provider and a combined social media, blogging, and marketplace platform. The social media and blogging target students and aspiring authors who still need to share their works and get ideas. The marketplace platform targets established authors, freelancers, and those about to get published so that they can further refine and polish their ideas. Our website is currently under development. In the Connect slide, authors can ask general questions and post and such like that so that they can answer their question. It is a crowdsourcing for ideas so that people can get over writer's block. In the Create, they can start writing and drafting their stories. In Collaborate, they can make use of our marketplace feature where they can hire others for services such as translating, editing, acting as an agent for their book, and more. It is a place for writers to get matched with freelancers and anything writing related. They have a bio and a friend slide, and they can see their stories, the stories they're following, and their writing resume where they can post any writing related achievements they have. Here's an example of the crowdsourcing chat feature. So here I have someone asking whether they should show their villain's tragic backstory through either a flashback or foreshadowing, and another person responds that if they want their reader to sympathize with the main character, they should use foreshadowing, and if they want them to sympathize with the villain, they should use the flashback. By the end of January, we will have a fully functioning website, and by March 2022, we will have 250 users. By the end of 2022, we will have 2,500 users and 10 subscribers. By the end of the 5th year, we project to have 100,000 users and 5,000 paid subscribers. Our competitors are Wattpad with a large user base of 90 million, writingforums.com with 23,303 users, and writingforums.org with 61,674 users. The latter two both enable collaboration between authors. Our competitive advantage is that we will be like a combination between LinkedIn and Upwork for authors and writers. We will have a better user interface, we will protect our younger users, and we will also have subscriber benefits such as access to our marketplace feature. We will facilitate contracting, and we will also have copyright protection. Our strengths are that we will promote active, easy collaboration. We have our marketplace. We also will protect our younger users and have copyright protection. Our weaknesses is that this is my first project and we have limited funds and therefore slow market penetration. We have a large market of just 4.6 million in just these two countries alone, and we can also have partnerships with established authors. Our competitors and our threats is just competitors copying. We will market our site by saying that anyone can sign up for an account on Writers Unblocked for free. This will give them access to the social media and blogging portions of our website. For an affordable $2.99 per month, they can have additional subscriber benefits and also access to our online marketplace. We will post information about our events and our site on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. We will make use of pay-per-click ads on YouTube, Instagram, and Google, with YouTube being about 30 cents per ad, Instagram 70 cents per ad, and Google $1 to $2 per ad. We'll use Google for search engine optimization so that whenever anyone types in writer's block, our website will come up first. We have collaborated with the King County Library System's Young Author Club, who has agreed to share our website with their members once it's complete. While we will take no responsibility for intellectual property loss, we will post guidelines for users to help protect their intellectual property, and we will also advise them to seek the help of a copyright attorney. We will take the help of a business attorney to write the disclaimer. The membership can be canceled at any time. We will ask the general age range of our users to help them protect themselves. We will censor mature content as well as video and audio conferencing for these individuals. We will censor mature content by asking authors to flag their content as mature, and if they do not, then other users can report this work. And then it will be flagged as mature and this work will be taken down. If authors continue to repeat this offense, they will be permanently banned from the site. We will have a feedback option so that anyone can tell us how they'd like to see us improve or expand our site. We will have a common 1 to 5 rating system in our marketplace portion and a writing resume so that freelancers can build credibility and establish themselves on the site. We will generate revenue through monthly subscriptions of $2.99, transaction fee of 10% in the marketplace, and generate ad revenue from unpaid users, 5 to 10 cents per click. We will establish partnerships with Grammarly, Query Tracker, Scrivener, and Wattpad. As these partnerships and monthly subscriptions are heavily reliant on having a large user base, we will focus on advertising in the first years of company operations. It will cost nothing to create my subscription. And we don't expect to have many sales in the first year because we will have a smaller user base, but we will focus heavily on advertising. Based off of a consulting with my marketplace builder, our website subscription and hosting will be $198 per month, and advertising, assuming 1 click per day on each of the platforms mentioned, will be $88.75 a month, a total monthly operating cost of $286.75. We will lose about $3,400 over the first year. Based off of our advertising campaign, we expect to have about 10,000 users by the end of 2022 and 100,000 users by the end of 2025, the 5th year, and 5,000 subscribers. Based off of that projection, we should have a revenue of about $330,000. We expect to break even in the 3rd or 4th year and generate a profit of about $300,000 in the 5th year. Our total startup investment will be $3,465, including the DBA, first year of the My Marketplace Builder subscription, and advertising costs. I will contribute $200 from personal savings, $780 from my friends and relatives who have committed, and I'm requesting $2,485 today. Writers Unblock is helping address an unmet need. While others are focused on the writing, we are focused on the writers. We will work hard to make your investment a success to help writers get past writer's block, not give up, and create communities. Thank you for your time and consideration of Writers Unblocks. Thank you.
Did a great job. Thank you very
Thank
much. Question I have for you is, as you're getting more subscribers and users, and you have to sort of manage things, how much time will it take to manage the website as people start using it?
So it could take in the future maybe 1 to 2 hours a day of my time, but I also know that I can take the help of my friends and family to take care of the website. But if it need be, and I do have to take 1 to 2 hours, I will take the time out of my day to manage the website and make sure everything runs smoothly.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was excellent, really well thought out. I
Thank
love
you.
how much data you put together, so I just want to compliment you on that. It's very deep thinking for a pitch at this level. My question is more around, and a comment, I guess, from experience. I think that probably the biggest thing you want to focus on is how you're going to get those first 10 writers. And so the advertising channels sound really good. What other ways have you thought about in terms of trying to find these writers maybe in King County? I heard about one partnership, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
So I was part of the Young Authors Club, and I noticed that these are people that also need help. And so I asked them if they thought the site would be useful, and every one of them responded yes. So I told them that once this site is ready, would you be interested? And they all said yes. So they are interested in my site, and I also know that I have some of my friends, they have also expressed interest, and their friends have also said that this would be very useful for them because they also have the same problem with me not having people that are able to help them. So I know that these are all people that would want to use my site.
One free strategy that you might want to consider is just go into Facebook groups that are about writers and just organically post, hey, I stumbled across this really cool site. You guys should check it out. If you get one user out of there, it's going to be like one of your ads on one of your days. And that might be where 25 users may be waiting for you to join them and help them out. So
I'll definitely consider that.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
That was an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And a great idea. I love your idea. It's very creative and very needed. You went a little fast, so I didn't get a chance to look at all your data. I would like to have been able to absorb a little bit more of that. But I really think that you're going to be overwhelmed with subscriptions. I think your budget for this and your projections on revenues are very low. I think you're really going to take off with this idea, and it will spread like wildfire. You won't have any trouble getting subscribers.
Is there any particular slide you would like me to go back to?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay at this point. But very well done.
Thank you.
You did a really good job. I was really impressed. I would just say, as far as your platform being online, I guess that keeps your costs down. Are there any costs in the future that you anticipate?
Taking help from the business attorney could cause some costs, and also getting to an LLC, but if I don't take the help of a CPA, I can get it done for a lower cost. And I also, my father is an attorney, so I know that some of his friends will be willing to help me, so.
Very nice.
Awesome.
So another real quick question, and just more of, I think what you've put together is wonderful for the general public that are kind and wonderful, etc. But when you're open to the internet, how do you protect from bad actors coming in?
So what we're going to have is, just like YouTube and Twitter, a verified system so that people that we know on the website regularly posting, people have liked their comments a lot, and so we generally know that they have positive feedback. We'll mark them as verified. Subscribers will also have their own check mark.
Very nice. Well done.
There's a phrase in early stage technology, which I work in, about doing non-scalable things that you don't have to worry about how you're going to get 1 million people. I would encourage you very strongly to just do things that don't feel like you could do them forever for the first 100 users. For example, if they're in King County, try to get the feedback with them on a Zoom call, if that's comfortable, in person, if that's comfortable. and spend a lot of time with your early users because they're going to help you shape the direction of the product.
Okay.
And don't worry about how you're going to do this forever because you're not going to need to do it forever because the secrets will be unlocked in these first 100 conversations.
Okay, I'll do that.
Well done.
Amazing. Great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our supporting sponsors for this event: Lee Johnson Auto Family, Hersman Searles Almond LLC, and PRK Live and Good.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Hansen. This is Jonathan Brodeen. We're attorneys with PRK Live and Good. Jonathan, for somebody starting a business, what's something important to them?
Great question. Two things come to mind. One, having good advisors that can help you set up your entity and make sure you're following all legal requirements in where you are starting your business. And two is protecting your assets. Whatever your business is, if it's IP, protecting your IP, maybe it's just good legal documents for your transactions.
Next up is Anuj Krovidi with Spaced Out.
Hello everyone, my name is Anuj Krovidi and my company is a benefit corporation called Spaced Out. Thousands of kids around the world experience that feeling of awe as a 60 million pound behemoth called a rocket launches itself and 3 lucky people into space. Some kids want to be in the rocket, others want to help build it and design it, but everybody wants to be a part of that feeling. Thomas is one of those kids. Thomas has been loving astronomy and has been thinking of the stars ever since he was little. His parents bought him a brand new telescope for his birthday, but he was so frustrated as he could never figure out how to use it. Now, his brand new telescope sits in the basement, collecting dust and waiting to be used. All the while, kids around the world in underserved communities don't even have access to tools like telescopes that could potentially inspire them to take on a career in STEM. When we talked to kids and parents around the greater Seattle area, we found a similar pain point. How can parents find the right tools to inspire their kid to take on STEM and simplify aeronautics and astronomy for their kid to learn? Enter Spaced Out, a revolutionary new product and service that aims to encourage kids to take on astronomy and aerospace while helping parents inspire their kid to take on STEM. We do this by providing kits with hands-on science experiments that allow kids to simplify aerospace and engineering important concepts that they will need later in life. Kids can then share their accomplishments and achievements on our Spaced Out forum, where they can learn about, connect with other kids that are like-minded, and form rocketry clubs or space teams. We also have a give back portion of our company, where we give back a kit for every 3 sold to a nonprofit like the Boys and Girls Club or other nonprofits, STEM nonprofits. We also donate tools like space telescopes to level 1 schools inside the United States. So how does it work in a high level? Consumers will be directed to our website through various means of outreach, such as social media or word-of-mouth outreach. Customers can then look at our website and see our mission and different kits that we have to offer. Customers will order a kit, let's say the basic aerospace model rocket kit. We would then prepare that order and ship it to the customer's doorstep. Once we ship 3 kits to the customer's doorstep, we would then ship a donation kit to the Boys and Girls Club or another nonprofit like I mentioned earlier, or that money will be saved to a pool, to a telescope that could go to a level 1 school inside the United States. So what are we really selling here with our product? Our product has 2 themes. One is the engineering line and the astronomy line. Each theme has 3 levels: the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced stage. We were thinking about doing a subscription type service, but when we talked to our consumers about it, many voiced that they'd like their kids to go at their own pace, whether it be fast or slow, or if they wanted to skip a level, say go to advanced instead of beginner, if they know that their kid's capable of it. Each kit is sold individually to suit each kid's learning pace. So, in front of you right now, you have our product prototype. Feel free to have a good look at it. And although this is not the perfect prototype, this is a good representation of what we envision our product to be in the future. So when you open it up, you'll see that we have our instruction manual. One of the pain points when we talk to consumers about is that their instruction manual were so complex for things like telescopes or other model rocket kits. That's why we did it in the form of a video, so that way we can accommodate all learning types. This way, kids are more engaged and motivated to continue learning. Our secret sauce when it comes to kids engaging learning is that we have experimentation and different variables for the kids to change. For example, in the kits in front of you, this is our basic aerospace kit. You can change, we have different types of nose cones, and kids can experiment at how nose cones affect the physics of flight, which keeps them engaged and motivated to continue learning and continue exploring, which we want. So, Spaced Out is a benefit corporation, so our priority is to align our company's goal with a sustainable purpose. We aligned our company's goal with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4 of quality education. So how do we do this? We match every 3 kits purchased with a kit donated to a STEM nonprofit charity like the Boys and Girls Club. We ensure that our business is net zero with packaging, and we're partnering with low-income schools to donate kits like Kits 2 and telescopes and science equipment. Spaced Out is in the education market. The education market has been growing at a 12.2% rate compounded annually and is currently worth $227 billion USD. And is continuing to grow year by year. It has a potential for greater increase with COVID-19, and the inner market of interactive education has been growing inside the classroom and out. Spaced Out will ride this wave perfectly by balancing the fun and education. So there are some competitors in our space. Our number one competitor is KiwiCo, located in Mountain View, California. And another competitor is STEM Backpacks, a nonprofit that caters to underserved communities and delivers STEM supplies. Although with these competitors, our UVP remains clear to us. We are the only company that offers an engaging experience for kids that want to grow their interest in astronomy and aerospace while also giving back to the community and society. We incorporate our secret sauce of experimentation and different variables for the kids to change so that they're motivated and encouraged to continue learning. So let's talk about our financials for a second here. We have one revenue stream, and that is when the consumer pays $22 to $25 based on the kit theme. So our astronomy kit is a little bit cheaper than our aerospace kit because it takes us $12 to $15 depending upon the kit theme to make it landed on the customer's doorstep. We have some challenges here, and our challenges here for our that we have to reduce our marketing, our packaging, and our shipping costs by a lot, since they are taking up the bulk of our landed costs. We are a premium product, and we consider ourselves a premium product, and that will consider to other kit companies like KiwiCo and our other competitors like STEM Backpacks. So let's take a look at your 4-year sales projection. We are taking into account that we have high startup costs and high fixed costs in our business when it takes running it. We also have to take into account that we're continually taking out money for our give back program and our charitable needs. Although considering that, we still project to net $10,000 on the end of year 1. However, we will break even 1.5 years from now after the start of our business. This idea is, however, very scalable after the initial stage, as we can add in key features, new features, and new kit lines. So with our marketing and promotional plan, we are primarily doing it on social media, primarily Instagram. Especially in this day and age, everyone's on Instagram, right? So we're going to be doing our social media campaigns based on our mission. Our mission is to spread the gift of education and provide everyone with an opportunity to learn. Building, following, and increasing traffic to the website will by our mission-based campaigns. We are also exploring potential collaborations with space YouTubers like Everyday Astronauts so they can market our product to their vast audiences. So, imagine a world where everyone can learn astronomy in a fun and interactive way, where everyone can learn with the proper tools in front of them. The future is now. The future is spaced out. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
I love the story at first. You know, you had sort of the comic of the little child, etc. And I thought that was great because it's bringing us along. I thought that was a good start. My kid was a big rocket guy, and so I was right with you on all that. So I see what you're trying to accomplish, and I think it's great. It would have been cool if we would have actually done a video of this thing, because I was like, going, this is great. One of the questions I had on this is the 3 to 1 ratio. How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so we sell a product, $25. Let's take the $25 aerospace. We sell 3 kits, right? So that's $75 of revenue. It's landed $15 for that kit. So we would be doing $45. So we'd make $30 of profit without donating. So then after we donate an additional kit, it'd be $60. So then we take $15 profit from 75, 60 basically. Or 75, 75, 60, $15 profit. And we are a B Corp, right? So our priority is to give back first and then profit is second. So that's why our profit margin is a little bit less with the 3 to 1 ratio.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was great. Same thing. I have my girls. It's the same thing where I know that they would love something like this. So I noticed on here you have a QR code. Is that something we scan and we can see a video of how to put this together when we're sitting at home?
Yes.
Okay, that's really awesome. And I do love that you're offering opportunity versus charity, because I think giving something like this to a child, you're actually enabling them to learn how to build and then take that forward in their life versus just handing a meal or something that's a one-time use and they can't get really much out of it later on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I echo both of their comments on just impressiveness. It's very obvious to me that 2 things right off the bat, that you're super passionate about this.
Yeah.
None of this stuff works if you're not passionate. So that's it, number
Thank
1.
you.
And 2 is I think you've done an outsized amount of user research. You've actually talked to your friends who do this and other schools, and you kind of have a really strong, what we call user empathy. So you can really put yourself in the position of the learner, because you were that at one point. And so keep doing that would be the advice.
Thank you.
My question for you is, you have about 1.5 years till break even, and we don't have to go into the details, but what do you think the number 1 challenge is to get there for you?
Yeah, so we have a couple challenge barriers to entry, I would say was the word for this, but one of them is the high marketing costs. It takes a lot to get like a kit brand off the ground here, especially since we have to educate the consumer a little bit, right? You know, not everyone knows this problem is out there, so we have to educate the consumer. And then also brand recognition. So, you know, we have to make sure that our brand is recognized. It's different. The UVP has to be clear, and that's one of those 2 challenges, and that's why I put the break-even point down there. And also the profit margin, I talked about that earlier, but that is a little bit, you know, less, so then that's why the break-even point I put down the road. So, yeah.
Those would be the ones I would point out as well. Brand equity being big, because this is at the end of the day a rocket, right? So you have to have a reputable brand and not launching things that don't work or launching things in the wrong direction or injuries. So brand equity is the big one here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, it was great presentation. You look very professional.
Thank you.
You know your topic. You spoke clearly. You gave us time to look at all the information.
Thank you.
It was very well thought out. You did a focus group.
Thank you.
Which is very important, as Manesh said, to getting feedback into how you go to the market. I have one suggestion for you that may be beneficial into getting that brand recognition, is to take some of your startup money and send these kits out. Just blanket the elementary schools. With these, send them out for the teachers to let the kids play with them. Absolutely. That kind of thing, as an initial thrust to, no pun intended,
nice,
to get things going. But very well done. Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Hello, my name is Julia Proudlove, and I am a tax partner at Hurstman Searles Almond. We are a certified public accounting firm located in downtown Kirkland, who offers our clients a wide scope of accounting, tax, and consulting services. It's our passion for our clients' success and for those of our greater community that leads us to support the Chamber in its endeavors to promote a strong business base and provide excellent opportunities like Investor Sharks Northwest. We wish all of the student teams good luck and great success. Thank you.
Up next is Nishita Bakur with Niblet.
Hello and good evening. I am Nishita, the founder of Niblet. So Niblet is a subscription-based container farm service that provides and maintains fresh fruits and vegetables right at our subscribers' homes for a fixed monthly rate. Our service can be broken down into 3 parts: setting up the container, maintaining the produce, and most importantly, harvesting it. At our subscribers' homes, we will set up containers filled with an assortment of fresh produce customized to suit their needs. Besides the plants within the container, there will be hydroponic technology that will monitor and sustain the plants for up to 2 months without any human intervention. The reason we chose to use hydroponic technology rather than traditional farming is because it will allow us to increase the plant density as well as automation while decreasing water usage, maintenance, and vulnerability to pests. Our service will allow easy access to fresh produce without the inconvenience of maintaining it. We will also provide complimentary monthly visits from our technicians to ensure everything is in order and swap plants if necessary with pre-grown replacements. At present, we are planning our containers to have a footprint of 2 meters squared, containing 2 racks with an additional side rack. The bottom rack will contain long-stem plants such as bell peppers, tomatoes, and Brussels sprouts, while the top rack will contain leafy greens such as lettuce, celery, and broccoli, and the side rack will contain vines such as peas, beans, and cucumber. Each rack's produce will be customized to suit the preferences of the subscriber. A monthly subscription of Niblet will cost around $250. The reason we settled on this price is not only because it is less than what our competitors are charging, but it will also greatly minimize our subscribers' monthly grocery bills. Currently, on average, Americans spend approximately $510 on fresh organic produce. We will be able to minimize this to only $250. Our goals for the initial year of Niblet are to focus on developing fully self-sustainable container farms. We also plan to pilot our program to 50 to 100 households. In the following year, we plan to gain 500 subscribers and charge them $250. This price will cover the maintenance of both the containers and its plants, along with a monthly visit from our technicians, leaving us with an annual run rate of $1.5 million. By the end of the second year, we are hoping to have 5,000 subscribers, leaving us with an annual run rate of $15 million. If we were to continue with this growth, we should have approximately 100,000 subscribers by the end of the 4th year, leaving us with an annual run rate of $300 million. We want to keep each customer subscribed to Niblet for at least 3 years, leaving us with a lifetime value of $9,000 per customer. Per customer, there are also numerous expenses we need to take in account, such as setting up the container itself, the produce, and maintenance of the produce. The setup and container are both one-time expenses, which will cost around $2,000, while the produce and its maintenance will be approximately $50 monthly, leaving us with approximately $5,200 per customer over the span of 3 years. Besides these expenses, we also need to take into account our R&D cost, which will be $2 million per year, and this will be spent on further developing our container technology. There has been a steady increase in fresh foods, and while processed foods are seeing a sharp decline. One factor for this is thought to be coronavirus, which has led to regained interest in healthy home-cooked meals. We plan to make the most of this increased popularity by targeting our marketing towards these progressive-minded people. Our target demographic consists of families with children, meaning we will focus our marketing on sites such as YouTube and Instagram, as well as have famous influencers advertise our product. In these advertisements, we will show Niblet as a premium product and emphasize its freshness, taste, and convenience. Niblet's three main barriers of entry are brand recognition, container technology, and production cost. Niblet will have to compete against companies which are offering pre-picked produce, some of which also offer produce which is coordinated to specific recipes. To name a couple of these competitors, there are Dinnerly, Purple Apron, HelloFresh, as well as many others. To become part of this $15 billion meal kit industry, we plan to use their popularity to boost our mind share, since similar to them, we offer fresh fruits and vegetables, except our process offers as much efficiency, transparency, and satisfaction as possible. We can also provide a wider variety of produce, since unlike them, shelf life isn't a problem for us because the produce can be picked fresh off the plant. Our subscription is also way less compared to theirs. They charge on average $700 to $800, while we charge only $250. Besides a wider variety and more cost-effective method, our subscription also offers something unique. We can tweak our produce to customize to our subscribers' needs by changing the nutrient mixture provided to the plant. For example, for kale, we can make it sweet or bitter depending on our subscribers' preferences. Besides brand recognition, we also face the challenge of developing self-sustainable container farms. Currently on the market, there are some similar products such as vertical farms, but since they're quite different from what we are aiming for, we can only copy some of their parts and the rest will have to be built from scratch. This will make Niblet an expensive endeavor, and we hope to be able to fund it through the Teen Startup program. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation and are willing to fund Niblet. Thanks for listening.
Nishita, you did a great job. I totally got what you were trying to do, or you're trying to do. We've done subscriptions of fruits and vegetables at our house. To actually have something that's actually growing is brilliant. Question for you is that once it's at my house, the container, how do you know the quality? How do you keep the quality assurance on that? Do you guys monitor it?
Yeah, so we're planning to have sensors attached to the container itself, and the sensor will be Bluetooth, and it will give constant information to both us and the subscriber themselves. So if there are actually some really big issues, then we will send our own technicians to solve the problems, and it will be free of charge, and it will go under the $250 price. And again, if any of the plants are infected or there are pests, we will swap the plants with pre-grown produce from our warehouses.
Is it inside or outside these containers?
So we are planning for them to be both inside and outside, but with the footprint and height, because they're going to be 7 feet high, 7 feet wide, and 3 feet deep, they won't be able to fit perfectly into apartments, but for regular houses or rental houses, they should be able to fit both in and outside of the house. And we're planning for our containers to grow the produce equivalent to a 8 to 12 meters squared farm.
Very nice.
You did a good job. And I wanted to say, to piggyback on his question, on the sizing, are you guys planning to modify in the future for apartment living and that type of stuff to make them, because not everybody has the space, especially in a metropolitan area, for a backyard, even a side yard, or, if they live, or multiple families in a home, to have that space to put the box.
Yeah, we will definitely try to tweak our sizes. Currently, the size I told you, it's for 2 to 3 families, so those with 2 parents and then children, we should be able to maintain good amount of produce for them with our current dimensions. But if it's only a 1-person family, then we can for sure decrease the size, and we can make it taller or wider depending on their house's ratios. But we haven't made the container yet, so I can't say for certain how much we can change the sizes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely echo those comments. This is super fascinating. I have a comment and a question, if you don't mind. Question is, where is the container technology today? Is it prototyped, or do you have a blueprint of it, but you haven't actually built a prototype yet? Where exactly is the container tech?
Currently, it's all pretty imaginative. It's
Great.
all in my head.
Good answer.
Yeah, but there are similar products like vertical farms, because we're for sure going to use vertical farm technology in ours since it's stacked. So we will be using water from like the top and it will drain to the bottom. So again, it will reduce the water usage, and hydroponic already reduces water usage. But yeah, vertical farms are the closest I think we have to a prototype.
Gotcha. And what vertical farms are what that product is doing is close enough that you feel confident that you can bring this to market?
Yeah, but vertical farms are mainly focused on leafy greens. We want to spread it to long stem plants, vines, and maybe in the future we will also increase our produce because we don't have like potatoes, onions. We might add those, but they're non-perishable and they have a longer shelf life. So we might add them as supplementary, but we definitely won't be growing them because that will take up unnecessary space.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. The question, or the, I guess, sort of comment question is, I would have loved to seen some stats around food waste because the other half of this is buying a bunch of produce from the grocery store that you end up throwing out.
Yeah.
And this would save for that if I understand the idea correctly because they're growing in my place, right? So with the hydroponic technology. So I think you have two ROIs here, returns on investment. You have the cost savings that the 510 versus the 250 numbers that you were, which is totally believable, by the way, when you're shopping for a family and groceries or produce is a big part of your budget. But the other half of it is the 30% that ends up getting thrown out because it goes bad.
Yeah.
You solve that problem amazingly well.
Yeah.
So I think to bolster the pitch, you should have a description on that as well. And just another piece of value that you bring to the table.
Okay, I'll definitely add that to my pitch. Thanks.
Very nicely done. It's a great idea. I love it. It seems the space issue is going to be a challenge for you, the container itself, to get a prototype. And the sooner you get that, working on that and seeing how you can grow and what you can grow, the better.
Yeah.
And remind me again, is it tomatoes and what did I see in there?
Okay, so we are going to have 3 racks, but again, if like it's a bigger family, we can add more racks or reduce racks. But the overall idea is there will be 2 racks. One, the bottom rack will be longer than the top rack, and it will contain long stem plants such as bell peppers, tomatoes, Brussels sprouts. But there are other long stem plants out there. We can't grow all of them since not all of them are perfect. They won't work for hydroponics. And on the top one, we will have leafy greens such as lettuce, celery, cabbages, cauliflower, all that. And then on the side one, we will have peas, beans, all the vines. Yep.
And is this powered by electricity?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a controlled environment.
And we'll have like a glass pan over it, so it won't allow for, like the temperature inside will be controlled as well as the humidity and pH.
Okay. I made one note. You mentioned Instagram as a place to. Pinterest is probably where you're going to get a lot of interest.
Oh yeah.
Pinterest would be a good place to.
For our first 100 subscribers, we're planning to start in like local farmers market because on YouTube and Instagram, getting an advertisement is quite expensive. So first we want to increase our mind share and have some customers, at least 100. And then we will move on to these sites.
Well, in Pinterest, you can just get interest. You don't have to buy an ad.
Yeah.
You can just have people talking about it.
Okay, I don't use Pinterest.
But you did an amazing job.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Great job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And our final group, Ankita Sataner, Ikshita Sataner, and Meha Shah with the English Support Network.
જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. મારું નામ મેહા છે અને મારી સાથે ઇક્ષિતા અંકિતા છે. આજે આપણે તમને બતાવવાના છીએ કે આપણે કેવી રીતે બીજા લોકોને ઇંગ્લિશ શીખવાડવાના છીએ. We see how difficult it is to understand a foreign language. Imagine living your day-to-day life like this. To combat this issue, we've created the English Support Network. We want to help solve the language barrier in King County.
King County and Sammamish are communities dominated by immigrants, and our area is a hub for business, especially surrounding technology, which has attracted people from all over the world. While this has been a huge step in diversifying our culture, language barriers have hindered the formation of meaningful community relationships. 40% of King County residents reported speaking English less than very well on the 2021-2022 King County Community Health Needs Assessment. That means that 2 in 5 people feel that they struggle to speak English and therefore feel that they do not have the resources to effectively communicate and connect with others in our English-dominated society. Also, our zip code 98074 ranked an 8 by the American Community Survey for limited English. That's very high on their scale from 1 to 10, and once again goes to show just how many people in our area struggle to speak English. In fact, we've all personally experienced the struggles of language barriers. For example, when trying to speak with our family members back in India. For example, I've struggled to communicate with my own grandma.
To combat this issue, we have created the English Support Network. We want to help immigrants improve their English throughout our community, and we also want to connect them to each other. This could be with Sammamish residents who are volunteers, or just other people who are new to the area and need help learning English. We want to create meaningful community relationships, and our target audience is adults ages 20 and older.
Our program would start by hosting classes online via a platform like Zoom because of COVID-19. However, we plan to transition to in-person sessions whenever it becomes possible, as learning and relationship building are much easier face-to-face. We hope to host these in-person sessions at a public location, such as the Sammamish YMCA, where there are classrooms available for the use of nonprofit organizations.
Our class structure will be relatively consistent from class to class. We will start with some basic introductions for all the participants, such as weather or emotions in the target language English. We will then move on to a basic English video that covers the topic of the day, followed by a concise lesson. We want to make sure that the majority of the time for our students is spent in conversing because this is a spoken English class. We will pair them up or group them up based on skill level and then help them converse with each other. Some possible topics for this would be citizenship exam prep or health care situations, or just anything that the participants may request that they need help in.
We have developed several methods of marketing to reach potential customers. First, we've developed a flyer that we will distribute in areas that have the highest probability of attracting people who may want to learn English. For example, these locations could include temples, churches, and other religious institutions, ethnic grocery stores, etc. We've already been successful in distributing these flyers in many large cultural events. For example, the Hindu Navaratri Festival, which was a few weeks ago, and the Spanish Day of the Dead Festival, which was just a few days ago. We plan to continue to distribute flyers at large events. For example, the Hindu Diwali Festival, which is actually today, that we're planning to go to after this, as well as others in the future. While the flyers in front of you are printed in English, we plan to have copies in other languages that are common in our area. For example, Spanish, Hindi, and Vietnamese. That way we would be able to reach a wider array of people who may want to learn English. We plan to further our outreach through various social media platforms as well. These platforms include platforms like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. Through these platforms, we aim to not only directly reach our target audience, but also indirectly through family and friends who can then spread word about our program to those who may benefit. We've already begun reaching out to many people through these platforms. We are also working on finalizing our website, and we plan to have it up and running in the coming weeks. This website will mainly be used for facilitating our business and will be the place where participants can sign up for classes and find contact information. We've also had the privilege of meeting with several organizations who are willing to sponsor us. One of these is the Veda Organization in Redmond. Veda is a cultural organization committed to creating relationships within the Sammamish and Redmond area's Hindu community. We were able to meet with a representative from the temple, Mr. Kanan Iyer, who shared with us that the Veda temple is willing to provide some financial support, as well as free classrooms that we could use for our classes if we would like. Furthermore, we have recently met with Ms. Gina Jones, the ESL program leader at the Sammamish Presbyterian Church. She has agreed to serve as our mentor and has been a huge help in helping us learn how to effectively teach English to others. We plan to meet with more community organizations in the future.
The need for English language services in our area far surpasses the current options available. However, there are two main options that many participants can turn to: private fee-for-service tutors or ESL church services, as Ms. Gina Jones hosts. The problem with private fee-for-service tutors is they often cost a lot of money. For example, the Amazing Talker program in Seattle costs about $20 per session, and another one called the ELS Language Centers of Seattle runs from approximately 4 to 48 weeks and from $1,500 to $20,000, respectively. Many students are unable or unwilling to pay money and are also not registered with a local church. Therefore, the English Support Network stands out amongst other competitors. We require no official membership, and we are also a free of charge service.
In terms of finances, today we are seeking $800 to start and grow our business. Some of these funds would be going to starting and maintaining a website. At $23 per month, this adds up to a total of $276 for a full year, excluding tax. The rest of these funds would go to things like marketing, purchasing textbooks, and other miscellaneous expenses that we expect will arise as our program is implemented. In terms of a textbook, we have chosen the textbook ESL Speaking Activities by Mark Roche, and we plan to purchase 3 of these textbooks to begin with, for a total of $40.35. However, we plan to purchase more of these textbooks as the number of volunteers and teachers in our program increases. We have also allocated $86 to cover the cost of printing 100 flyers for advertising. The remaining $297.65 have been allocated to cover tax and other miscellaneous expenses that we expect will arise later. As our program is a free-of-cost business, we prioritize the growth of our program rather than sales. We hope to launch our program with 8 to 12 participants, and we expect that number to grow exponentially in the months following the launch, especially as advertising spreads through word of mouth. As our program grows, we hope to transition from a program led by us to a program led largely by volunteers, while we can manage and organize behind the scenes. These volunteers would be anyone from our community, and we would target volunteer opportunities to adults in our community as well as high school students. Our best case scenario would be to have these volunteers be from a variety of backgrounds and languages, as multilingual volunteers would be better able to connect with and communicate with English language learners who may begin at lower levels of English proficiency. As our program grows, we hope to correlate the number of volunteers to participants to about 1 volunteer for every 5 participants. That way they can all receive adequate support. Furthermore, as our business grows, we plan to implement some paid teacher roles. These would be teachers in our community who could join our program as we grow and gain more participants in our program. These teachers would help maintain more consistency in our program, which would create an easier environment to learn in for our students. These teachers would work through contracts where they are paid a set sum of money to work a set number of classes. For example, $200 to work 6 classes. These teachers would be responsible for teaching about 15 students for hour-long sessions with the help of about 3 volunteers. Our timeline starts with us finalizing and publishing our website in the coming weeks, along with us advertising more in the coming weeks. We plan to host at least 1 online interest session by the end of next month, along with 1 in-person session if it becomes possible. Our goal by the end of January is to have our actual classes up and running, and by the end of February, we hope to have applied for nonprofit status with the IRS.
Through our efforts and those of our volunteers, we hope that the English Support Network will increase the confidence of several valued members of our community. We want to be in a world where we can share anecdotes with our friends, our neighbors, and even our grandmas. Thank you for listening, or should I say, dhanyavad. We're also open to any questions at this time.
I love what you guys have done. This is
you.
great. You guys did a great job in presenting. We know exactly what you're doing, which is great. I love the fact that you also brought in that it's a 501c3 that you're going to be doing. That was one of the questions I had. How'd you structure this? The question I have is, and I think you alluded to it, but initially, in regards to the textbook, have you guys read the textbook and looked at the textbook, the ESL textbook, say, oh, this is a good one, and has it got good reviews? And I'm not sure.
Right, that's a great question. So we have selected the textbook specifically because it focuses more on teaching how to speak English rather than more common topics like writing and reading, which are usually found in textbooks. And the textbook does have some very good reviews, and that's why we've chosen it for now. However, we plan to actually begin purchasing these textbooks after we host our interest sessions. So at that time, we will look more into textbooks, and then if we need to, we could choose either a different textbook or choose a different way to structure our program then.
Well done.
Okay, my question was if you guys were a nonprofit, because that's what it sounded like, but you didn't state it, so I wasn't sure until towards the end. And then so revenue streams, you guys are going to be getting investors into.
Correct.
And have you guys looked into, is it better to do it closer to the end of tax time or the beginning of tax time?
So we were considering applying a little bit earlier because we do know that like towards the holiday season, lots of companies are willing to like compensate for grants and things like that. However, we don't think we're exactly at the point where we're ready to do that yet. We did want to get our business up and running. We wanted to see the interest in our business before we actually applied for nonprofit status. So that's why we have that plan for kind of later February. However, we did look into that as an option as well.
Amazing. First off, happy Diwali.
Thank you. You too.
I thought that was great. You guys, problem hits home for me as well. Having grown up, my parents, are from India. I'm first generation, so I could totally empathize as your user here. A lot of communication barriers still in the family. I would love to hear a little bit more about where this idea came from. What's the origin story? How did you guys actually decide to do this?
We actually all took a summer wanted course together on, I forget what it's called.
Systems Thinking for Health and Wellness.
Yeah, Systems Thinking for Health and Wellness. So we all took that class together, and like the final project for that course was a community action project. So we looked at lots of like factors that were harming the health of our community, and a lot of that was English barriers, especially due to COVID. So we started our project then actually. It was like a really basic outline, but then we were actually really interested in it, so we decided to continue and actually try to implement it after the course. So that's how we met and started working on it together, and then we were all just really interested, so we decided to keep going with it.
Amazing. I would definitely weave that into the presentation in future versions. That is such a cool spark. It started in class as a project, but it's turning into a real life thing. You guys had that magic aha moment that we talk a lot about with new product development. So very cool story. The only other question I had is, how do you think you'll measure success maybe a year out from here? Define to me what success looks like for you guys.
For us, success is mainly expanding in the growth of our business. As Ankita stated earlier, we're not really looking at monetary values here because our goal is to teach English. So perhaps even expanding it to other cities or other states, that would be the best case scenario. But we are taking things one step at a time.
Great.
And then also in like the success of our curriculum, I know we didn't mention this, but we would plan to like measure like the baseline, have a baseline test to know where people are starting at, and then maybe like every semester or every year we would have like short like speaking tests where we can kind of analyze how people are doing and also just get feedback of like what they think would help them learn better.
Yeah.
So the program would be based around what they need and like how they are responding to it.
Yeah, the best way to get into the second city is to measure that in the first city. Mm-hmm. So keep a real close eye to those metrics. Great job. Thank you.
Well, very well done, ladies. I'm really impressed that you found this need. It's a big need. I've done a lot of volunteer work with the Goodwill over the years, and they would be an excellent partner for you because they take immigrants and people who are executives or engineers or scientists in their country, and they come and they can't even get a job at the Goodwill because they can't speak English well enough for people to, they've got the brain for it, but they don't have enough vocabulary. So they learn the vocabulary and then, again, strengthening the pronunciation, that kind of thing. So I think they'd be a real good partner for you. I'd say get your nonprofit sooner rather than later. It's not very expensive. It's easy to do. You can find an attorney that needs to do pro bono work, which is free, and they will do it for you because it takes up to about 18 months to actually get your status in order for people to be, if I wanted to give you some money to help you as a nonprofit, I couldn't do it till you had your 501c3 designation.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we would definitely look into doing that at an earlier time.
And I think your idea to use Facebook, I think you need to update that to, isn't it Metaverse now?
Nice.
Oh, right. Yes, we do.
It just rolls off the tongue.
And
good old Meta.
And you were talking about what you probably would teach people initially that were kind of at a baseline level of entry level learning English. In my travels around the world, when I'm going to go to a country, I want to know how to say where's the bathroom, what to order at a restaurant, that basic stuff that gets you around every day.
So we do have several topics to focus on from day to day, but of course we have no set course length, so participants are free to come to as many or as little courses as they want, which means that for new participants we also have one-on-one sessions available for more seasoned volunteers to take them under the wing and bring them up to the skill level that most of the other participants would be at.
Sure. I was just trying to make a joke, that's all. I'm sure you've got a good plan going for you. And is a lot of this going to be virtual?
So we do plan to start virtually, but we also do plan to try like in-person sessions when it becomes possible. So when it becomes like safer to do so, especially since a lot of our target audience are older people in our community. So we do want to put their safety first. But if like it's definitely possible that seeing our success with our online sessions, we might choose to do maybe like half online, half in person, or we could have like kind of both going at the same time to appeal to a wider range of participants as well.
Sure, and there's lots of, like I said, the Goodwill. They have rooms. They have classrooms and stuff. They could give you the, just let you use the infrastructure. Wouldn't cost you anything.
Yeah, we haven't looked at them, but we would definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a big training center in just north of Northgate, in Shoreline maybe,
Yeah, Shoreline.
and then the big one downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown Seattle.
I also I wanted to emphasize that you guys are really trying to help people with speaking the language.
Yes.
I think it's so important. I think people that are not bilingual don't realize how hard the speaking portion is. I'm completely fluent because I went to school early on, elementary school, full Spanish because my mom didn't speak English. And then I transitioned in 3rd and 4th grade to English. However, my mom can read my papers that would come home from school, but she still to this day won't speak it. And my daughter, who I taught to read and write at an early age, what she tells me is that she can understand when I'm talking to her, but she can't think of the words to say when she has to tell me something in Spanish.
How it is for us,
That's
And so that's why I think it's so important that you're focusing on the speaking part of it, because you might know it, but when you're trying to have a conversation, and I stumble on my words even today with my English sometimes because I know the word in Spanish, but I don't know it in English and vice versa. So I think that's really important. And that's key.
And I was going to say one more thing on your metrics. If you're going to be looking for grant money, and you will likely be able to get grant money on a local, state, and federal level for this kind of a service, and it's people served.
Yeah.
That's going to be your metric. How many people, how many thousands of people can you help improve their English?
Yeah.
I had one other question before we adjourn here. How do you guys split up responsibilities, or how do you foresee yourself splitting up responsibilities? There's a lot of stuff to do to run a nonprofit. So are there certain areas, or are you going to figure that out as you go, or how's it been so far?
So far, we've kind of just mostly been working together on everything. So maybe like one person will do one thing, and then everybody will come and look at it, edit it, whatever we need to do. However, in the future, we would probably split it up. So like one person would work with volunteers, one person would work with curriculum, one person would work on like organizing the sessions, things like that. But like even while we have our own like roles separated out, we would definitely still work together, make sure that everything's running smoothly between each section. And overall, like, we are doing this together, so this is kind of like everyone's doing everything.
Yeah, well, you guys seem like you work together really well. So
Thank you.
awesome.
Did a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
One of the things I really loved about Niblet was the fact that I could have this container in my backyard, go in there, pick my vegetables, and for the day, and not just for the week or something like that, if I would go to the grocery stores or something was delivered. And so the waste was less. I knew that the product was fresh and what was going into the product. So, me as a cook, I love the fact that I have fresh vegetables.
So what I really liked about Spaced Out was that it created opportunity versus just charity. And so you're giving these kids, these young kids, the opportunity to explore STEM and to actually get into a career that they wouldn't have otherwise known that they were good at or loved until they got their hands on it. And to be able to do that with your parents, and parents do it with their children, I think that's really great for parents, like you said, that are working 50 hours a day coming home, and then you have this small box, and now I can spend 20, 30 minutes with my child and building this instead of just, going and making dinner, they go and watch TV.
So what stood out to me about Writers Unblocked was the fact that our entrepreneur in the room really understood the market. It was really deep. 97% of people who try to write a novel fail or stop. 4.6 million people in the US and the UK as their total addressable market. How they were going to start the business with an online marketplace. The combination of LinkedIn and Upwork as being this new 10 times better version of getting over your writer's block than anything that exists on the internet today. I thought it had the vision of a global community. I was really excited by it, and I really hope they bring it to market.
I was really impressed with these 3 young ladies that had the English project, because I think that's a really, they were reaching across any and every culture, which is, that's this country. Mm-hmm. And they want to reach out and build community with all these different people. And just think of all the people they could bring together from different cultures and how much we learn from each other. There just seemed to be such a residual effect of just learning English or how to pronounce English. I was just really impressed with it and because of that aspect. Well, we want to thank all of our applicants here. We had English Support Network, Writer Unblocks, Niblet, Spaced Out. And it was really a difficult challenge to actually pick the best one. I don't know if we want to call it the best, but the one that really stood out to us was the Spaced Out, because that gives opportunities to children and parents to be together that don't have a lot of time, and to stimulate a knowledge and desire to want to get into the STEM programs that they wouldn't have an opportunity to do otherwise. It's just a very simple demonstration of how to do that. So, congratulations to Spaced Out.
Congratulations to all our student teams, and thank you for watching the 2021 Teen Startup Challenge. Special thanks again to our presenting sponsor, Google. Additional thanks to our supporting sponsors, Lee Johnson Auto Family, Hersman Searles Almond, and PRK Live and Good. And to our participating sponsors, Gisa Credit Union, Northwest University, Nunes Group, Banner Bank, Ventures Academy, Murphy Business Northwest, Smead Investments, and Fina Flowers.